Tim
Yes.
and Dana.
Yes, sir.
Right? Perfect. I want to make sure I get it right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us today, guys. Really appreciate you guys coming in here.
Yeah.
We were here 2 weeks ago, and we did a tour through, saw the flowers, and you actually took me through there like 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And oh my God.
Different ball game now, yeah.
Oh,
Big difference. Big difference.
Got them all stripped down. The resin is just protruding off the leaves. The buds just look fantastic.
You got to be getting pretty close, right? Last time you
3.5 weeks left.
3.5
3
weeks.
weeks. 3.5 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I guess you were saying 4 or 5 weeks last time.
This is our last crop here.
That's exciting, right? And that's the other thing. Big deal. For that as well,
Our last
too.
crop here.
Yeah. Do you are you finding that the switch over to the new, getting all the setup and stuff like that's working out?
Yeah, it's actually pretty straightforward. It's just the biggest thing is just going to be moving soil.
Right.
So,
That'll be
from here to there.
You're going to keep the same soil?
Yeah, absolutely.
See, that was the thing I was thinking about it. So are you just going to move the carts in their entirety?
Actually, you know
or-
what? We're
Like
going
flatbed
to
it?
living soil pots.
Oh.
This is what we're changing up the game.
Okay, so
Have you tried the pots before?
No, we're just going to jump right in.
What kind
I like the smile.
What kind of pots? What kind of pots? Just plastic
Just
pots?
fabric
Fabric.
pots.
Yeah,
Yeah, fabric pots, 100%.
Yeah. Any brand in particular?
No, I haven't
They're
really.
old
I actually, it's something that I have to get on now because we're coming to the end here, and I got to get everything in.
There's a few things that they are way different than the beds. We've tried them actually in our living soil.
Okay.
Just back there, it's a lot challenging. It's not the same like with the actual full living soil. Like you guys you're hybrid. So I think it'll be a lot easier transition for you. It doesn't work. From
It's
our
harder.
experience,
It's harder.
well, just our experience as far as the living soil farmers.
And this is Tim with Sweet Grass, by the way,
Yeah.
on PC fame, to
Yeah.
make sure. So it has a little bit of knowing what he's talking about when it comes
Oh,
to living
yes.
soil.
Yeah, so it's just the plants and living soil, they all work together, and each plant is taking what it needs and giving what it needs, and when you separate them in individual pots, they have a harder time being successful in all different ways. But that's just in the full living soil. A friend of mine, he's probably I'd say one of the top 3 growers in Canada, just fired up his company called Kootenai Cultivar. He's a good buddy of mine. We used to be outdoor farmers together. And he's tried the hybrid. He's doing 3 different rooms in 3 different styles, and he's a new a micro grower.
Nice. How's he doing?
They're the
Killing it.
He's so good.
They're the best.
I always say that. I won't, I'm not one of those, we're the best. All but they're one of the best, for sure.
There's always somebody.
We've learned a lot. I was an indoor farmer when he was an outdoor farmer, and we kind of taught each other our crafts, and that's how we kind of became friends back in the day. So, but what they're doing kind of a hybrid style, and they're having great success with the different. They're doing a cocoa. They're also doing a hybrid living soil as well. So they're doing the different pots, and they're having some success. And they he'll say the same thing as I say, that the pots and the living soil, full living soil, just it doesn't really work. Yeah.
And
That's
and
interesting.
Is that more along the lines of the control with the more organic aspects, where that small amount of area just is really hard to control?
Yeah, hard to control. Different. They just drink differently, just an amount of water. They're such individual. Once you separate them compared to when they're in the bed, they'll just drink what they want.
Cohesive unit.
Yeah.
Right.
They're all
Again,
attached.
it's a different
Yeah.
environment.
There's 40 in the bed.
They're
all
the
together.
root mass is all together working together.
Tied
it's
in.
kind of
Interesting.
like trees or let's say mushrooms, the biggest organism in the world that works together.
Right.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. That's really interesting. How long have you been doing living organic?
So that's the thing. My background is, we were doing outdoor farming. My background definitely for indoor was salt. So I was a salt farmer, and that's how I kind of met my business partner in Sweet Grass. He was my neighbor, and
In Nelson? That your neighbor?
and it's outside of town.
Oh, okay.
Weimer, BC. He's on the acreage next to me, and kind of moved in, and he didn't realize I was a farmer. I didn't realize he was a farmer. And we kind of were like,
What are you doing?
don't be doing that up on this hill.
guy.
Don't be doing that up on this hill. And then he's really knowledgeable about organic growing, and he actually has an organic farm to table restaurant. And his property next to me, has a organic farm there, and then he was using those practices with growing. And then I was more of a systems guy. I've been like designing and building indoor facilities for a long time. For a lot of years, for a lot of ACMPR people, and then kind of commercializing the small craft medical platform there. So then we kind of came together, and that's how we were like, okay, well, should we do this? And he brought on the organics. So I was always hesitant, because I'm like, well, why fix
all this extra work?
why fix something that ain't broke?
That's
So
right.
I was doing well, but it's a superior product. It's a healthier product, and especially like getting into the medical, and like even now with the Sweet Grass, we work a lot with the veterans of Canada, and we have a big medical platform. So health is our priority, and we take pride in like spray free and the organic, and it is. I feel it's a more flavorful, product, and some people actually don't love the earthy tones and everything in organic flowers, and I'm not saying that the hybrid model isn't easily as good. It's just it's a lot different, and your practices are different, and what goes in and what comes out is different, and you can do it properly like Natural Earth is doing, and be really successful and have an amazing product. So I'm not saying it's the only way to do it, but
it's your way.
That's our way, and that's how we shifted. And like our team is just like they're all science nerds, and they love it, and they just are like constantly on. They're just working all day listening to organics, and we work with an agronomist, and we're doing soil sampling like all the time throughout the crop. So there's like 3 stages where we're sending our samples away, and then we work with the soil scientist, and we're getting like what inputs and what we're needing to do, what we're needing to change, and just like what we need to do to be making the round better. So.
Right.
It is and it keeps the boys and girls, but our head growers are males, but then we have a lot of females working for us. We're about 50-50 in our facility, and it keeps their minds activated, and they're just constantly learning and changing and adapting and trying to, because it is such a new thing being science-based now with cannabis and being legal, that there's just so much that is being unearthed.
It is
unearthed.
Correct. It is an exciting time. Exciting time right now, because never before have we had access to public funding like we do, the research and development like we do, the proliferation of legalization, and people, the green rush, everyone and their dogs trying to figure this out, which is good in a way, because it gets all eyes on this product, and everybody's trying to get their hands in it to see what can we do to make it better. And
they just announced a new program actually through the government. The woman I'm on a couple boards out there for advocacy and all that, and then they just actually announced a new product, and they're slowly trying to change cannabis into agriculture. We're not considered agriculture right now, but they are, and there's a new program and funding, and I'll give you the link or whatever. There's money available now, and through I forget the name of the what the acronym for the program is, but I'll pull it up.
Please
for you,
do,
because they're starting, like you said, funding is available, and it's changing times.
Because FCC I know is available, a farm credit, because under the federal government we are specialty agriculture is what they classify it.
They've changed that.
Yeah, but the rest of the people
specialty
agriculture,
right?
Which I imagine limits the type of grants and such you get
huge. And our tax benefits and everything, like our property taxes are insane, and compared to if we were considered agriculture on a farm, there's a lot of hurdles. We've been fighting.
The stigmatization it's amazing how consistent through every chain of this legalization operation has these ridiculous hurdles that we have to seem to peel back to get us to a place where everybody else gets to operate. And whether it's at the cultivation side, whether it's at the retail side, or even the consumption side, with like limits of how much you can have, as we were talking about that earlier, right? Ray is coming out here, and it's just the things that nobody else has to deal with that we seem to have to. It's still, we're a long way from just being a regular commodity item in this country.
Long way.
Yeah, long way.
But the progress is part of the fun.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful.
Participating in it is the best part.
We're growing legally,
right?
huh?
Yeah. There's a lot more things you can bitch about.
If you would have asked my 15-year-old self, I would have said, no fucking
Not
way.
a chance.
Not a fucking chance.
You have too much fun. As we
Yeah.
were watching you last time when we were here, it's like
Yeah.
you're talking and still picking. We were talking about that the last episode too. Yeah.
And Dana, you also with Natural Earth, you do living organic soil with a blend of synthetic.
It's hybrid, yeah. So
Okay,
we use
yeah.
a
And
low
how does that
salt.
work?
We use a low salt nutrient. So we're not just relying on on the soil to feed the plants. So we're adding in with a low salt nutrient.
So what are you adding in your microbes, bacteria?
Yeah, all nutrients, NPKs.
Oh, so your
Yeah.
base and your
Yeah.
adjuvants.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's exciting.
Yeah, we still do like we top dress with worm castings. We'll do
Mhm.
I'll do teas. And,
Yep.
we water every 3 days, and we water 3 times a week, and every third watering is street water. We only use nutrients 2 out of the 3 waterings.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have 1,800 plants in there. Is that what it is?
Is 1,759 right now.
That's incredible. And that whole room is ready. They're all at the same stage. They're all
Same
ready to go.
stage, yeah. We harvest them all at the same time.
God, I bet you that's fun, hey?
Well, you know what? We get 12 people in here, and we have that room cut and hung. I think our last harvest, we were able to do it just under 5 hours.
Oh wow.
And wait, because you got to
And-
do a weight, right?
You got to weigh it wet.
Yep.
Right.
And dry.
And dry. And dry. Drastic number change.
Yeah.
there, hey?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But you know what? It's fun because we bring in a lot of people from the dispensaries and friends and family. We have a good time.
Harvest parties. Are what
Harvest
it's
parties are
all
great,
about. That's right.
and it doesn't get old. It's always new people and a lot of the people that have been here before.
God, I wish I could say that. It never gets old, man.
It never gets old.
After about the 4th or 5th harvest,
here.
I'm like, yeah, I'm done, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore. My back's sore, my fingers are pain. But now I'm using a bowl trimmer,
Yeah.
and man,
The salad spinner.
The salad spinner, yeah.
You know,
That was outdoor equipment.
yeah.
We motorized it, motorized the salad
drill?
spinners from the bottom.
Yeah.
And, the grasshoppers. We had a couple people lost some tips of their fingers, so we had to switch it up to the.
Oh,
You know, I used to hate on those things, and then after each plant is bringing me in about a pound.
yeah.
It's like, I'm done doing this by hand.
It bruises in it though,
You
and
do?
it does.
Oh, you
you
do?
lose a lot of crystal.
As a home cultivator, though, there's things that I'm willing to sacrifice for the benefit of my pain.
Yeah.
I don't have 12 people to invite over,
Yeah.
and if I do, they're asking for some extras. You know what I mean? So it's like no dice. No, it's harvest time for me is not helpful, but
I've never once judged you on the look
Nobody
of the
does.
body. Yeah.
because they're not paying for it.
That's
that's true. Right?
Never
Don't
have I
forget
looked at
personal.
my own product and been,
Yeah.
God, I sure didn't trim that very well. It's just like yoink, 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 throw that in.
What's your grow scene like?
It's my seed.
Yeah.
In regards to what, like the house?
No,
Or-
what's your grow medium? What lights
Oh,
are you
I'm
using?
synthetic as well. I
Like
use
pots. Or,
yeah, fabric pots using HP Pro Mix, Pro Mix HP. I use synthetic
LED.
LED. Yep.
Spider.
Spider Farmer.
I was watching.
I was
it.
gonna.
No, you're not wearing it.
I was like,
Yeah.
I got it somewhere. No, they're a sponsor of mine, so
Yeah.
they cover all my lights. And AC Infinity, I'm a tent grower. I just recently converted my grow room into a lung room, hosting 2 tents.
Yeah.
And that was the smartest decision I made because it's like having a room like this completely honed in to grow and weed.
Mm.
Whereas, in a room, it was a little more difficult because in my house, I didn't have it properly filtered,
Yeah.
properly regulated in temperature and humidity and so on and so forth. And
Cement
so,
walls and everything. It hasn't even been that long you've been intense. Like it's
no, only like a year, maybe
Right.
maybe 2. Yeah.
Pretty
It's okay. Never
It's
mind.
been a little while.
Smoke
That's
a lot
only,
of drugs.
that's only like 4 or 5.
Hey, nobody got that. Eh?
Yeah.
Right. It's only like 4 hours, like 4 harvest cycles.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's you kind of said you get stuck in your ways, and that's exactly, you figure out how to do it your way, and then I'm kind of slow on changing. I only just automated my garden like last year, so everything from
you using
humidity.
blue mats and stuff?
No,
Or what do you
no,
mean by automation?
I use I use AC Infinity's smart controllers. So I've got my inline fan, my circulation fans, my humidifier, my light, all controlled by one hub.
Oh,
So I can set my VPD, my humidity,
Mhm,
my I set it all and set it and forget it. Walk away and it's all on my app on my phone.
Yeah.
So yeah, it takes a little bit of the the sex appeal or like the love out of the process, because I told Dan, you can never trust a man who doesn't water his own plants and or hand water, and it's like I say that because at least you're in there every day, you're looking at every single plant. When you start to automate things, you start to become a little more complacent.
Yeah.
You believe the numbers on the thing. It doesn't tell you what's happening in the back corner behind plant number 475.
Especially in big rooms.
That's right.
Yeah,
It
smaller
doesn't even
rooms
have to be a
is
big
not
room. Even in my little tent, there's a little corner of dust that never moves, right?
So hand bomb?
I hand bomb watering every 4 days, every 3 days myself.
No, we still in all our micros.
You still hand water too?
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, we hand water.
Good.
Everything's
Good for you.
hand tended.
Yep.
But our
That's
environment
passion.
is like, it's like super.
But that's a
It's
fusion
not,
of
but that's okay.
the
No,
technology
environment should
and
be, right?
But
It should be
then
hybrid.
what keeps the team like motivated and like intellectually stimulated is we do so much pheno hunting now. So we're just constantly pheno hunting and playing and pruning techniques, and it's like the science, and also just
And that's a real privilege to be in that position where you don't need to worry about the other stuff. Now you're just looking for plant characteristics.
Yeah.
That's exciting. It's really exciting.
Well, and you guys also just shipped your first load in Australia.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah. Sent our first load last week.
Good for you guys.
Yeah.
Well, that's
crazy.
Oh yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Is that like do they deal with a different sort of licensing when you're exporting? Or
No, actually, like you don't even need a federal sales license to export. People
So
didn't
the
really know.
license-
Are you serious?
No, you don't. Like
Fun
there's
facts.
loopholes that people don't really
No
know.
kidding.
You don't. Like you need to you need export license. You got to have like certain permits in place, but you don't need a cannabis federal sales license because that's just federal sales.
Yeah.
Like,
right
within
within the country,
but not that.
Interesting.
But
That's
so we've been our product was being sold in Australia. One of our cultivars, our Crunchberry, was being sold through another company for the last few years actually to Australia.
That's crazy.
And then we got cold called by another company who's firing up. It's actually blowing up their medical platform in Australia. It's taking off really huge. So we got called by another company, and they're like, we just want to work with you guys directly. So we just went through the hoops and and sent our first load there, a little tester, and they accepted that. Our mint chocolate chip is the one we sent, and then we're going to start sending our Crunchberry to them through a...
Man, that's awesome.
Isn't it? It's
Canadian weed down
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Iran.
No, that's Israel.
Oh, they're Israel. Sorry.
That was through another
Still
company
pretty
too.
exciting.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
That's
Like,
next level.
Yeah.
It is next level.
Exactly. You expect some of these things on a large corporation side of things because purely on connections and the ability to provide a price or something for whatever reason, and getting to see an example of where it was like, no, we're looking for quality and we're willing to bring it from across the world to get that.
It's
for
changing huge.
That's
Actually,
incredible.
They're realizing it's like the same thing as like how the black market used to be. They're realizing you can sell probably a quarter of the amount with the same markup. Compared to like having low quality, you have to sell like how much you got to sell for your price point, right? So they're okay. We have a higher quality product. We have to deal with less paperwork, less like storage, testing, all that stuff, and we can still make the same amount of money. And the end client, is happier. So yeah, it is changing. Germany's changing like that. They're opening it up for a higher quality product. Israel as well. They still have their markets for that, but that's kind of where Australia is going for sure.
Which is kind of funny because we're not seeing the import here, but we're dealing with the export, which makes sense because it's like we've got enough good stuff. Like
We got crazy cannabis in this country.
yeah, that it doesn't seem to be a concern that we're even that I know of, anyways, that it's even being talked about. But yet, all we talk
It'd be
about here
different.
is exporting into the
It'd
States,
be different
exporting
if federally the U.S.
If
comes.
they, because
Right.
Then
like
it's a different ballgame.
well, like California, some of their tarp shows and their flippers and all
that would be the
they
big stop.
they have
with
some
the federal.
beautiful product for very cheap.
Yeah.
So it is like that would change in the sense of, you know, still as far as like the high end indoor, like, you know, like what Natural Earth is and what Sweet Grass is doing, what we're producing, I think we'd be protected because we are a niche market.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
like, you know, with the hybrid model and the high quality.
Right.
And then
It's
us.
a different purchasing decision. It's
Yeah.
different budget hands for the consumer.
Yeah, and
all that stuff.
we're not trying to do large quantity sales. Like that's why, you know, we do charge a higher price point. People are always like, oh, you guys got to drop your prices, and we're like, well, no, we hand 10 everything.
Yeah.
The amount of certification we have to do to be like we're organically certified through a body.
Right.
So it's like,
And not irradiated, right?
oh no,
Never.
no, that's
Everybody's irradiated. And it's
well,
trash.
90% of companies are irradiated,
Trash.
and like no, our organic certification doesn't allow it, and we wouldn't do it anyways, and you don't have to do it
Because it's
You grow
counterintuitive
it
to the
properly.
entire
if you grow a
process.
property, you don't have to do it. Yeah.
Just do
I
the job.
totally agree.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. Yeah, I 100% agree. It's just the arguments for irradiation is just pathetic, and the majority because I deal with a comment section, like a lot, and
Well, I can imagine.
I deal with hundreds of comments every day, and thousands if I post a video. And the amount of people that make the comparison of weed to vegetables. Well, all your vegetables are irradiated before they hit the
No, they're not.
shelf.
No,
I'm
they're
like,
not.
well, not all of them.
Anything imported.
And
Yeah.
B, I've never smoked a vegetable before. I don't
No.
smoke any of my vegetables.
Well, it's like
So-
people think it's okay to spray Nova 40. It's a product for powder mildew.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, it's been tested. They spray it on lettuce.
Yeah.
And it's fine. Like what they say, I would never eat,
Yeah, I
but
would
like they say it's fine to ingest it. But the second it flames, it's carcinogenic.
Right.
So
Right.
it's
Different
it's,
game.
it's,
Yeah.
it's like, well, would I want to eat that if I know that that's what it does? Anyways,
Right.
No,
The answer
crazy
is
stuff.
no. The answer
Yeah,
is no.
answer
The answer is no.
The answer
Short
is
answer.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where I feel like I honestly feel like commercial weed is losing because they don't that basic concept of just good shit is lost.
Yeah, I'm
Because
not
a lot of these people aren't even smoking their own
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm not 100% on this, but we were approached by a company to do a testing program and testing weed through its whole process in one of our facilities, and then irradiating it and retesting it, and then the same plant beside it doing it like that. We were considering doing it, but supposedly what this person said, they want a proper documented experiment. And they're saying that the companies that have done the documentation and experiments for radiation are all in cahoots. They're all
being
in the same
paid
company.
by the one.
Yeah, so they're all
Right.
Follow
that's
the
why
money.
they're saying like the test results are completely skewed and
Yeah.
no one's doing a proper like
Yeah.
It's being sold as this fix all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I make videos like this all the time. I try to call out the hypocrisy of our
it's insane.
industry and the corruption that's involved. And for the sake of this podcast, I won't mention all the names, but
yes.
there's a lot of them, unfortunately, and a lot of these are big actors in our industry. And the only way they're succeeding is through the lobbying of the government, funding of the continuous suppression of small grows. You know, it's when you again, I won't mention the company, but these big names are protesting against our right to home grow. And it's like you would think that anyone would be in favor of allowing people to grow their own product.
I just still don't see that. Like, my 73-year-old father thinks about, he goes, what happens if we get in Manitoba, as you know, there's that battle still for us for home growing. I'm like,
Yeah, you guys
there's
still
wine
can't, right?
kits?
No.
No, we still don't have it, right? Which is crazy. But I'm like,
It's pathetic.
or were you worried? Was the alcohol industry worried about wine kits and home
No.
beer kits and all that stuff? No, because it's a small niche part of the market,
Yeah.
and also doing things well is hard. There's a difference from the ability to do something well, to do something that could sustain you off of the market itself, the industry itself. It's not a.
Even
No
if
problem.
they do legalize it, like ACMPR grower, like I know I have no house insurance when I'm growing weed in my house.
Mm-hmm.
You can get it though.
Can you get it?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I have insurance on all. It's crazy expensive.
Yeah.
I had to search for insurance from BC
Yeah,
for
okay.
my Manitoban home.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you gotta be.
So it's available,
It's
but
available. It's expensive.
Which is kind of crazy with
It's all
the
ludicrous.
technology.
Yeah.
Like, we're not dealing with, high temp lights and stuff anymore. right? And you think there'd be
But I understand because
not everybody puts this in
people can
Karen.
still be using those ballasts.
Yeah.
Like you take them off the plywood panel, and there's a huge brown mark.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Get toasty.
Yeah.
The reason people are still doing that is because
No Morantz, it's like
it's just
done.
it's just I
It's
may,
just your watering station right beside.
I may have been guilty of that.
Oh,
The thing
no,
is-
I never did that.
Yeah,
No.
right.
No.
The thing is, though, is that the reason people are still doing this is because there's no regulation. There's nobody outside. Like,
Well,
for me,
there should be approval process there or something, right?
I can't call an electrician and be like, yeah, so I'm putting a room in my house, and I need you to come wire it for me. They're not going to give me any time of day. They won't touch it.
We're just so lucky in BC.
You're right. You're
Oh,
right.
yeah.
We
We
can't
are.
do that here because then you're putting up flags for someone to go tell someone that you've got a grow house in here.
Yeah.
So I get it that Karen's at home trying to put a grow tent together using an HPS light and wired together with a.
What I did at my
makeshift
house,
plug.
I just bought what the hell was it? 12 by 30 shed.
Well, okay.
Put it outside.
Yeah.
No, but if your house burns and it's still out, if you don't have the insurance, so
Yeah.
even if it's not in your house, even if a building on your property has a grow
Yeah.
and your house burns down, you're not covered.
Okay.
So like anyone who grows without grow insurance,
You're not.
you're not covered
You're
no
not
matter
covered. Anything.
what,
Which is
wherever it is on
And
your property.
people don't realize that. Though,
No, and they're wasting like $3-4 grand a year in insurance. Like
Ugh.
they just might as well just
I didn't
not.
even think about that. They have it, thinking they're covered.
Is
and
that-
they're not even.
They're not
covered.
even covered.
Is that a thing that though, if people are at home not growing cannabis, does that still affect them? Like, would that
What do you mean?
type is an insurance thing? Do you think
No,
that
because
that
it's legal now. You're allowed to have cannabis in your house. So
Well,
if you
I was
burn
thinking
down
like
your house
actual
smoking-
vegetables or flowers. Like, if you were just had some grow tents and your stuff, is that how you?
No, you're okay with that.
Yeah,
that,
I-
it's just
100%.
purely because
Just
it's
cannabis.
cannabis. That's
Oh
it.
yeah, no. If I was growing basil, that's no problem.
That's
Because
right, my
like,
brother-
like I
Sorry,
just sold, and every time you go to sell a house, it's on that questionnaire.
Right.
CMHC will not give people if somebody needs CMHC for mortgage, they will not give you a mortgage if that house was a grow up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They will not insure that mortgage.
That's so crazy.
I know, like my brother-in-law's mother had a grow tent. It had an LED in it, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what light it was, but it caught on fire. And it was actually the tent that saved the house because it kept it all in one spot.
Smothered it.
And the fire department came in, heavy suspicion of weed. There was no weed whatsoever, it's just gardens in the house. And yeah, everything was covered, everything was good, just large investigation.
As long as it's
Because
not weed.
That's
Yeah.
it, that's it. There was tomatoes and
The
everything.
devil's lettuce.
That's
That's
it.
it,
That's
right?
it.
That changes everything.
Everything.
Everything now, which is kind of ridiculous, obviously. But, I,
But that was sorry, not to cut you off. My point going back to even if what's going to happen is the NDP is going to win this next election in this province, more than likely. It's going to get overturned. You're going to be allowed to grow your 4 plants, but now people are going to have to go get insurance. Nobody's talking about
Right.
insurance, right?
right.
And people that rent, a renter's not going to be able to grow at home.
You'll never be able to.
And I mean, to me, it's a very similar situation when we first got legalization, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, the world's opening up! Look at all the things we could do!" And then it was like the one kid that works for me lives in an apartment, can't smoke in his apartment because it's not a smoking building.
That's right.
Can't smoke on the balcony because of the same situation. Can't even smoke on the grass area they have in the building because it's private property.
That's why you get your
Can't-
same PR license.
Well, yeah, but
Right,
it was like, here it is, he's allowed to do this thing now legally. We're allowed to go out and buy it, but he's not even allowed to anywhere
leave your
within his
house.
dwelling. Right, you can't even do it in his house.
And that's where people ask me, Pigeons, are you still going to be medical when it goes recreational? Hell yeah. Like, why would I not? I can travel with more. I can grow it.
Those
I can
rights are
smoke
so much more
I
developed.
can smoke
right?
anywhere. You
Yeah.
name it, because now I have a right to
Yeah.
take my medication,
Mhm.
right? So it's there's always going to be a medical market. There should never be a difference between medical weed and recreational weed. Like, what's the difference?
Well,
Nothing should be the difference. It should
Well,
be the same shit.
I think. Well, I think there should be more regulation on medical weed.
Sure, but what? Like, sure,
Well,
sure. I
I think
understand.
there should be like more health discrepancy. Like
I think it should be
tougher
more
micros,
tougher. everything.
non-irradiated.
Well, just a whole bunch of
for
things.
sure.
Like,
But I would argue all of that should be in recreational.
Yeah, but that will be.
That's
Yeah.
but that's my point. What's the difference? There is
Well,
no difference.
It's the market's cost.
You
or
pull one
price.
tomato, pull another tomato, and ask me what's the difference. I said, well, this one's a medical tomato.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why?
But we
Well,
have
it's
examples
grown-
of that in grocery stores right now. You have organic and
Yeah,
non-organic
right,
products, right?
Right.
And it's the market decides where they want to spend the money. And with retail, you've got to let them decide, really. And medical, we shouldn't be letting.
They should like actually do the science. Okay, well, if someone's smoking like weed that's not as healthy compared to this, what are the long-term like health effects, and is it going to cost us more money in the long run with certain kinds of medication, all that kind of stuff. So it's
Right.
I understand, like, obviously, if you're suffering from a terminal illness, you've got cancer or something, you can't be, your immune system is very volatile.
Mhm.
You can't be exposed to anything really in particular. So I would understand that, the regulation process would be slightly different, the handling process, maybe. But then again, I just think it's all being consumed the same way.
Yeah.
So this clean stuff should be this clean.
Yeah.
And this regulated
if we
should
can get
be
every
this
company on that.
Sure, and you never will. You never
No,
will.
no.
And this is why the legacy market will forever exist.
Yeah.
Because it already offers you that.
Yeah.
It already offers you the same shit. It's this shit or it's this shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're a cancer patient or the guy next door, you're getting this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and it's good stuff too.
Mhm.
Less hands, it's as someone who grows their own, I will still always buy from, well, I won't say I'll buy from like the legal market per se, but I will. There's always a market there.
Mhm.
Same way as someone who brews their own beer is still going to buy Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
Or someone who makes hooch is still going to buy Bud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're still buying.
Probably not Bud Light though.
Probably not. Well, who knows?
There's still Lab Light?
You're not judging, are you?
I think Lab Light's still here.
It's still
Yeah.
around?
Yeah.
Still around.
Well,
Yeah.
I used to
Lucky's or
Lab 50.
Lab Light.
Yeah,
Lab
Lucky's-
Best Light.
Lab 50 was.
Oh no, Pilsner's gone now.
Pilsner's.
Pilsner's
yeah.
gone. We'll go to Lab 50.
I don't know. I haven't
I
drank
think
it
I've
in 4
seen.
years.
I think I've seen it. Yeah,
Sorry.
Lucky though. I think wasn't Lucky like $2 a case or
Oh
something
my
like
God.
that.
It was five
That's
or
ridiculous.
something.
Lucky.
I'm
He's
back in high school. It
Shit through
was
the screen door, not hit the screen.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So
Actually, I'm gonna kibosh you because you're just gonna complain about something anyways.
no, I was gonna ask. Go.
No. It was just like really, it was something that we talked about just a little while on the podcast, and that was the highlighting of the growers as being one of the next advancements as we get more less stringent regulations on how we get to talk about stuff, how we get to advertise and everything. Is there an opportunity where the brand is going to be bigger than the grower, or is the artistry of this something that we should be taking more note of and having these conversations more, and people should be knowing who you guys are because that's what they can get excited about if they're looking for good things, not just the brand itself?
What?
I mean, is
Well, I don't know. I just think it depends. Like when you're saying the brand, is this like a
like with Sweet Grass, because you guys have transitioned exceptionally well,
yeah.
right?
So like, but the
That's one of my
Sweetgrass, we
favorite
only
brands.
Right.
we only grow Sweetgrass and we only
Right.
sell Sweetgrass. So when you're talking about a brand, if they're like
they're symbiotic almost.
or if they're buying from other companies
Mhm.
and this and that, like how do they? It depends. Like, are they going to feature the growers? And there's ways around that, and the brand would get bigger because they're bigger. But yeah, I think it depends on if you're just a solo entity or are you a brand. It's like I'm not going to name some of the brands out there. I don't agree with a lot of them, but
I know what you're
they take all the credit for the growers, and that the only way to change that is like what you guys have done, what we've done is from the beginning we're just going to be our own processors. We're going to be
our
our
own
own
thing.
everything. We're our own entity.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then we take that power away from the bigger companies, and
that is a brand.
It's us.
Yeah,
This
so
is us.
I'm promoting like with all my advocacy. I just like try and get all these smaller guys. I know it's hard. I know it's cost more money, but in the long run, you will be winning, especially against these conglomerates that we just don't need.
That don't care.
They
They
don't care about the farmer, and like that's why
They don't care about the consumer.
The micro platform is failing because a lot of these guys, like I know a lot of them, they're not businessmen, they're farmers.
Right.
All they want to do is grow, and they're amazing growers, but they cannot go to the
Process.
bank.
They don't have the-
They came up from the mountains and like but they're some of the best. But they tried and they got convinced and they started a micro and they're like, well, now I got great weed, but now what do I do? And then they're giving it to someone
Marketing.
who's taking all the credit, this and
And
that.
all the money.
And all the money. Like that's why we are the first company we went to see if they'd package our weed. We're like, what? Like, no. And we're like, well, we'll try it ourselves and see what kind of price we came up with. And it's like, not even comparable to what these guys are trying to make.
Well, that and then it's also being craft is, in my eyes, is from start to finish.
Yeah.
I'm curing it. We're trimming it. Everything is done here. I don't have to ship it out somewhere. Are they looking after it properly?
Yeah.
You know?
What did we
Lots of those
move?
stories.
What did we just move to
Labeling
get the show?
machine.
A labeling
Yeah,
machine.
yeah.
Why? Because it's the same guy that
Yeah.
grows
Yeah.
it that puts the
Yeah,
sticker.
well, Devin and the crew, right? We're only as good as
They've
our
been
crew.
walking by.
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
It's
and
all
as
about
they've
the
been
team.
moving
It's all
around,
about
us,
the team.
yeah.
It's
No,
all about the team.
We hire local first too.
Yeah.
We supply living wages. Like
Yeah.
we're trying to be a forefront company in that. And like I'm super proud. We have not had one person quit in 4 years.
Good for you
So
guys.
it's like it's just hiring like local
Right
to do it all. And like that's the thing. We're like, well, even if we saved a little bit of money by outsourcing, it's just like we're taking away 3 people's jobs in our town. Like our town has 400 or 500 people.
Yeah.
You know, Nelson's
town.
that's Weimar where we live. And you know, Nelson's 20 minutes away, and we do have Nelson employees, but we always try and hire from our
Nice.
town first. But yeah, in the community. But if we start outsourcing, like right now, we're sending our pre-rolls away because we didn't have a local option.
Oh,
And we were like, well, should we do it ourselves? But it's like it's a lot of work. But then, you know, now a couple of local companies, and we're not in competition. We all try and help each other, and it's a great. That's how the Kootenays has always thrived, and why it's Winnipeg has had a harder time. Like I grew up here and with the black market because everyone was like against each other.
Yeah.
Still
That's
is.
why it still is.
Still
And that's
is.
why the Kootenays, like we grew as a community,
Yeah.
a grow community, and everyone helps everyone. And now my buddy's company, he owns Woody Nelson. They're a bigger company, but they're going to start doing it. So it's going to be great. They're going to be hiring more people to do pre-rolls. So it's like it's all about supporting the community
That's right.
and
100%.
keeping it all in-house in community.
And you said you're outsourcing that work. Now you're focusing on something that's exciting and passionate towards you.
Yeah,
You
we're
don't
building
wanna take-
another facility right now.
Yeah,
So
you know,
I saw some of the pictures. What a terrible place to have to go to work.
Right? Who wants to go to work in the mountains?
Right, just surrounded by the trees at the new construction site. I'm like,
It's a
that
pretty
looks
nice
terrible.
view.
No, you just come over here beside the mushroom plant.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, your guys' new zone looks good out there.
It looks. Oh no,
There
it's
was
totally
the-
different. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
totally
looks-
different.
Yeah, you have
the
a little,
city.
the new setup's gonna
Yeah,
be great.
absolutely.
I'm very excited to see
Well,
that.
room for expansion. You guys are gonna.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's not the mountains.
Yeah.
Right?
Not the mountains.
I'm
Well, that's
so-
why.
That's
That's
why
why I
you're
left.
there.
That's why I left.
The
I do
infinite
love
wheat fields
Winnipeg.
is
Yeah.
also beautiful.
I love
Yeah.
Winnipeg, and I love the.
Well, my
the
son
surrounding
moved to
areas.
Kelowna a year ago, so
Yeah.
he loves it, and
Yeah.
he ain't coming back.
No, no,
Are you guys using the sun at all? Or are you guys all
No.
artificial? Yeah,
No, no, it's all like we've
LEDs.
experimented. We've tried 5-6 different companies of LEDs. When we first built our first micro, we did 2 rooms full LED, 2 rooms checkerboard with double enders. We tried 1,000 double enders. We tried 750 double
Bet you that was
enders.
pricey.
What's that?
Bet you that was pricey.
They were pricey.
Trying to test those.
Well, you know
in
what?
there.
There's a great Canadian grant, a research grant that does we got
See,
some
I
money
gotta look
back.
into that too.
There's a
now.
lot of stuff out there that
Yeah.
I can fill you in with.
Please,
but,
yes.
a lot of research and development grants. So you have to just word it properly and
For
all
sure.
that.
Get a little
And
money
so we've
back.
got a little bit of money back.
Hey, use what's available.
And then
Well,
you know,
there's not much, right?
No,
so you
there
gotta
is
use
no-
what you can.
no,
That's right.
but and it was worth it. Like there's one company that it was a fail. Like we were guaranteed that if our production didn't go up, they'd give money back. So we're
Oh,
like,
boy.
oh yeah, we'll try
Never
it.
heard that before.
Yeah.
Well, because like we're so consistent. We just
Yeah,
showed
for
them
sure.
our numbers,
For sure.
and we're like, we're within
Yeah.
like this range,
Yeah.
like
Right.
in potency,
Consistently.
in production.
Yeah.
Like our rooms are.
And they were
They're dialed.
adamant.
Your standard deviation isn't that high.
No,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Like so, if we try something new, we know it's not us.
Yeah.
It's the equipment. So that's
Yeah.
why we've been able to, and we're working with a company now who has seen that, and they just gave us 40 LEDs because on our new facility we're going to do 260 LEDs, and we've decided that we've done like all the research and data tracking from terps and THC production from checkerboard from the different LEDs. So we've done tons of data.
And,
That's awesome.
and that data stuff's been pretty important throughout. Your
Oh,
guys',
so
like,
we
you
know.
bring it up quite a bit. Like it's a big thing.
Oh
with how you
yeah,
guys
we
operate.
know. So they gave us these 40, and they're saying, okay, try these. This is what we think you should be using. We worked with their design team, and they're like, if you're happy with these, then we'll sell you them, and they're giving us a crazy price.
That's wicked. Good for you guys.
Yeah.
That's exciting because that's one of the. I don't really know. I've never said that's one of the biggest expenses for a home grower is getting a decent light. Forget about the genetics. 'Cause that's the next conversation. But because those are going.
Environment is your most important thing. I'll just
100%.
state that as growing.
Of course.
Environment is number one.
Genetics or environment? It's environment.
Environment is number one.
Yep. Yeah.
So-
I'd argue the
Well,
same
like, because you're not going to be
you
growing
can control
shit.
much shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
grow
right.
shit, but like
thing. Of course.
any decent cultivar with a proper environment,
100%.
will do good.
Yep. Yeah.
With
I
like
agree.
a dialed.
Yep, I agree. I agree, and that's where the help of automation really comes in.
LEDs come a long way
Oh,
though too.
LEDs,
Like,
yeah.
This
yeah.
conversation in 2014 would have been much different.
yes.
Oh,
You know, the
guaranteed.
blurple lights that
Uh-huh.
barely penetrated the,
Yeah.
the top 3 inches.
It's crazy what the
Oh, it's
new
incredible.
LEDs that are bringing, the terps,
Yeah.
the terps, the THC, and now the production is there.
Yeah.
They have it. These new ones. that
There
work-
is no, like in my opinion, there's no argument
no,
anymore.
no.
There's no argument
It's just
anymore.
it's the way to go.
Well, the hydro bill like it because we're all HPS now. New facilities, all LED.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh,
like that's gonna be a big.
Oh, it's
I
gonna
know,
be a big change.
You're gonna know you're not gonna be heating anymore. You know, like that was you're not that you won't be, but not.
Well, our heating,
nearly
yeah.
as
I guess in the winter, yeah.
We
I guess
used them here in the winter. They were always like when we were running our cycles with our lights. They're always on the coldest part of the nights.
Yeah.
Right. You never
Right.
have to worry
Right.
about fucking.
Right.
The thing is with us, our power didn't
You're
really
cooling.
change too much because we just like, and like there is no space on our roof anymore. So
It's
love
lit.
you
I
know,
love
we
it.
just add more. We're like, well, okay, the power's down, more space. That's a no, like,
Still more lights up.
Yeah.
like it's just it's
It'll be
the
fine.
Kootenai way. We're
Are
like,
you guys solar?
I'm gonna build a. What's
Are
that?
you guys solar?
No,
not yet.
no,
Are you
no.
looking to go solar? Or?
No, like it's just
Not a
it's
focus?
just it's not a focus. No,
There's a lot
we're
of
solar.
power
I
there.
feel it's that's more for extract.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
That's
Yep.
like the
You guys aren't doing extracts?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
We're not sure. We might do it because we are working with the Pigeons of Canada, and they really want oils. We've
Yeah.
realized
Oil.
they want oils and they want their flour. So
Okay. You guys?
No, we're talking about getting. We're going to be going into our 2.0. I think on our next build.
Okay. Yeah, I had recently did a video or a podcast where we talk about whether concentrates are the future or not, and the general consensus was there'll always be a place for flour,
100%.
yes,
but the general consumer is going to want simplicity, easy, and like sparking up a joint and stinking. I don't think is going to be.
But it's never going to go away.
No, I don't
It
think it's
won't.
ever going to
No,
go
it
away,
won't.
and I
I
think
don't
that's something as you've just dropped pre-rolls. I mean, I've
Yeah.
had your pre-rolls
Yeah.
at my shop for a long time, but like the day they came out, I ordered them
Yeah.
because it's a conversation to have somebody, and that's the thing with both of your brands. You're high quality brands, so there's a price that is attached
Yeah.
to it, and that's not for everybody's budget,
No,
right?
Yeah.
absolutely.
But what the pre-rolls gives is an opportunity is it's a much easier conversation a lot of the time to get somebody in that convenience threshold to be like, hey, spend a couple bucks more and you're going to get something that you will enjoy more than the 3 packs you buy
That's
before
right.
this.
100%.
And it's getting people that were never going to touch the stuff getting that access. And
Yeah,
I
it
really
is.
like that more craft companies are starting to do the pre-rolls because it's just like, no, you're getting it in more people's hands.
Right.
And you're still using top bud. You're still
Yeah.
getting that good experience as if you rolled it yourself.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're not, it's not as good as if you bought the flour. That's only if you care if you smoked it in a bomb.
Well,
Yeah.
you know.
I was telling him we sent our first stuff bag to the company to pre-roll our stuff. They call us and they're like, "Are you sure you sent us the right stuff?"
Do you want to
Yeah.
use this?
Well, because we prune, we don't have smalls,
Yeah,
so
right.
we just send our quads. They're like, we're rolling quads. You know? We're like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
just how it goes for sure.
Right.
But back to the topic, the only thing for the seasoned smoker, I think the thing that might change as technology changes and equipment changes is the portable dabs. It is. It's like it's some
Super
of the,
convenient.
but it's like. It is some of the best smoke, and it's the best terps,
Yeah.
and the terp sauces and dabs and everything. I could see that market building more and more and more as, like, I saw a guy. He what's his name? The Hash King guy from PC.
Oh,
the Bubble Hash guy?
Bubble Man, yeah.
Yeah.
Bubble Man. Anyways, he came, I was hanging out with him, and he pulled out this thing, and it was just like super quick, boom,
Yep.
right temperature, little sauce,
Boom.
gone. Like a heated little, what do you call it?
There's
like
a
plastic thing
Yeah,
where you
yeah,
put in
yeah,
the sauce,
yeah.
that heats up, it drips in perfect, and
nail
boom.
it,
Was it like a little garbage can, like circular?
No, it was like,
okay.
it
I've
looked
seen the
like
new one.
it was like this big maybe.
Okay.
And it's just that technology. He's like, yeah, it's super
I like
easy for me
smoking
now.
that joint. I don't smoke cigarettes.
You're
anymore.
old
It's
school.
been like 13
Yeah. That's the thing. Like I talk
Next
about it.
generation, though.
right,
it's
that's
like,
right,
they were all
that's right.
smoking shatter.
That's right. Yeah.
And now, right? Like I was only touching shatter and stuff for the longest time, and now it's
Yeah,
like
I
who
know.
touches shatter
Yeah,
anymore?
it's the younger
Yeah,
generation,
that's
right?
true.
Like
Yeah.
we're old school.
I know.
We're-
Smoke a
we're-
joint.
And that's what I'm saying. Like flour will never die. Like
No.
I love my flour.
Just
love
the
my
different
bong
ways of
rips,
doing
man.
it.
Yeah.
That's right. But
Yeah.
I can't take my bong to my boys' hockey game.
No.
You know, I have a hard time traveling in my car trying to light the. so it's like you bring a pen, you bring a dab.
We
rig.
did when
Yeah.
we were
Like,
kids.
The
doing
dab
the
rigs
movie.
are, I think,
That's
where
it.
it's where
Yeah,
it's
it's
going.
just so
Yeah.
easy.
The
I
pens
drove
don't do
3
nothing for me. Like
No, those
nothing. Not
are
even
maintenance
the
from
live
getting
odds.
high.
Yeah.
Like I'm already high, and
I
then
got I rip it like a big bonger before I go to a Jet game, and then I have the Jet pen, have a pen
That's
in
right.
there during the
Right,
game
right,
right.
to try to top up. a bit,
Yeah.
right?
That's right. That's right. It's a short-term
Yeah,
solution.
yeah.
So it could go either way, but I'm glad to see good companies that are passionate about their product, passionate about the community, that are using great weed as their argument.
Well, and we're not enemies. Like
No, it's fantastic.
You know,
No,
I've
it's
learned
amazing.
a lot from Tim today. It's the first time I met him, and
yeah,
man,
we get 2% of any of the government deals he helped do with for facilitating the conversation. But we'll talk about that.
When I'm in the States, I spend a lot of time in America, and
Okay.
particular in Vegas, and there's brands down there that are more brand oriented than product oriented.
can we say like Down
Cookies?
Bizarre maybe?
Oh,
You're talking like
Ignite's done.
Yeah.
And for that reason,
For
right?
that, yeah.
Boobs don't
No, sex is
sell shitty weed.
Yeah.
Good weed sells good weed, believe it or not.
Oh, don't get me started.
No,
he knows.
We're getting there.
This is it. This is we're starting to see this. This is
Yeah.
the same thing with Burner and Cookies. Cookies has got an incredible name. 4 years ago when I went down and I smoked a pre-roll from Cookies, we didn't even get it out of the package into our mouth, and all the weed fell out on our lap. Got it on video.
Yeah,
And so that only means to me either A, it was put together with shake, or it sat there for way too
Dried right
long.
out.
And whose fault is that? We can point the finger all day long. But it's great to see when, you talk about putting all the top buds into the bin to be used for pre-rolls. Like that's
The
difference.
company has to phone you to check out.
yeah.
But that's the difference between
We use
corporate greed.
60% of our big buds
Yeah.
for pre-rolls.
Right.
Yeah.
The thing is, but people don't know, like, the biggest buds are the best smoked, though.
Yeah.
So, though, like,
Big chowder.
Of
your-
course.
no, just your this bud is your best smoke. It's, less stock, because the grind that you're using and stuff. So we try not to send like the big buds, even though like
Well, we still
the
sort 'em,
customers
yeah.
love that one
Of course you
1/8
do.
bud.
Of
But
course you do.
but
Yeah.
as far as like quality of smoke, because I love looking at a nice bud. It's
Of course
all
you
about
do.
presentation too.
Yep.
But as far as a pre-roll smoke, because you are using the grinder and everything, and you hope the company who's making the pre-rolls
Take some of those stems
takes
out.
most of
Yeah.
them out.
Of course.
Most companies don't. Like most pre-roll
Imagine that.
processors don't.
Okay.
Like the Kootenai company we're going to be using, and he's old school, so
Meticulous.
Yeah,
Wants
meticulous.
good
So do it. So yeah, that is your
Absolutely.
your one
Quality,
your
yeah.
size. For
Yeah, and there needs to be that sex appeal. When you back in the day when I would go to my buddy's house, how did he sell me a bag?
Yeah.
Bro, look at this.
Yeah.
Put
Yeah,
your
yeah.
face in this.
Put your
Yeah.
face in this.
And that's what we want with our pre-rolls too.
That you darn
Yeah,
right.
You pop that cap and
It's like,
Yeah,
woo!
I saw some of them in there. They look real sharp.
yeah.
Yeah, the pre-rolls that you pulled out of that bag
Oh,
were pretty
baby.
damn sharp
I have a
too.
question though. If
Yeah.
maybe your watchers will get, because we're in decision mode on the crown or the twist. For a
We
pre-roll.
use the Dutch crown, so
this
I'm
is
privy to that because
Okay.
it's more. The reason why we like the Dutch crown is because
Yeah.
you can crank more out in a day.
Yes.
for production.
So this is what I'm wondering as a smoker,
As a
what you
burner.
want, because we have different arguments. It's the like aesthetically pleasing. Yes, the crown looks
Yeah.
better, but then we're like, okay, as like a seasoned smoker, that first light is a lot more paper.
Yeah.
So you got to like wait in the burn. So the twist, we decided to go for a twist. It's not that aesthetically pleasing,
Give it a quick
but you do they're super easy to rip,
You
and
let
it's
it
just
burn
like
off?
straight.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you don't even let it burn.
Quick
It's a quick
Yeah.
rip. It's
Yeah.
organic
Right.
on paper.
Okay, I cut my when I did
Yeah, I
that,
usually just give it a snip.
but I
If you're not, you do the rip,
That's
and
right,
then
right,
so
right.
this is
I
what
just
we
let it
came up
burn
with.
for a
So that's
second.
why we went with it. But the crown does it does have a great look.
But it is more
and
paper.
everything.
Sex appeal.
It
It's
is.
like more
It's-
professional. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a-
yeah.
So that like we don't.
Would
It doesn't
you-
matter to our company.
Yeah.
Okay, could I art now? I wouldn't know. I'd have to hold two up. Could you argue that the crown holds more?
No.
No, because
There's
It has
no
to
putting
weigh the
in that
same.
amount.
Oh, it still has to weigh the same.
Yeah, it still
has to
weigh
weigh the same.
It's just
Yeah,
the
okay,
way it
then-
looks.
Then I
Yeah,
guess it's sex
it's just
appeal.
the way it looks.
Literally.
But his point, twisting and then just clipping it up, you don't have that paper burn.
Yeah. So
Right? So
Right.
we were still on the
Yeah.
fence.
I never really dug
So
that
even with
deep
the
into it.
crown,
Yeah, we
you have
tried to
get-
do a sorry.
Test
No, that's
it.
okay. I'm not a joint smoker. I don't smoke joints really at all. So
Yeah.
with the crown, you still smoke the paper, right?
Well, yeah, because you're getting
it's
that
tucking
light.
Well, you let it burn
it's,
off.
It's just it's pushed in and tucked down.
It's just
Oh shit! I didn't even think of that. I
Yeah.
didn't even think of that. I wondered why people.
we put it out there on our Instagram and we
Yeah.
asked
'cause you
some
just
people.
burn
We
more
got
paper.
some feedback and people were like, oh, like it looks like this bow tie and like you're gonna be light.
You're
we're like,
fucking
well,
lighting it
we're
on
like,
fire
we're-
anyway.
No, but we're like, you don't light the bow tie. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a cigar. You do the snip or you do the twist.
You see,
So-
like, and I've gotten shit from older smokers than me that they'll laugh because generally, as I've gotten older too, and it's more just like inhaling less paper because the amount of joints I do smoke.
Yeah.
But I'll normally light it not in my mouth anymore, and so I'll light if it's a twist, I light the tip and I let it just burn to itself, and then I
Yeah.
we're good to go. And if it's a crown, I basically do the same thing. I let it give the round, and then once it's like touching the bottom, I'm like, you're at weed now. There. So but I take shit because I'm not doing the
But production,
burn through it.
yeah,
you do get a lot more done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking
Well,
if I'm
you-
gonna roll one, I'm twisting it myself.
Yeah.
It's so much easier than finicky trying to push in the.
Well, it's timing when you're doing it yourself, but when you're doing production, and like they're your joint rolling scenario there. It's hands on, and they do such a
it's all
great
hand.
they do such a great job. And he was showing me the process, and I've looked at those that style of doing
knockbox.
it too, the knockbox and all
It
that.
does like the
do a great.
nice
They
crack.
That's
do
the
a-
case for it here.
yeah, they do a great job, and
Yeah.
and he was showing me how they do the meticulous and make the crown. They make the crowns on their joints look like super sharp. So it's like
they can crank out about
Yeah,
8,000 a
yeah.
day with that one
Holy
machine.
fuck.
Yeah.
Just those
with
two,
the folds.
yeah,
Those
with the
boys
folds.
over there.
Yeah.
just
boys
those
and girls,
over there.
Randy and
Wow. And
Yeah.
how many are you guys cranking out a day?
But we're not doing our
They
own.
don't do.
Oh,
they,
right,
they,
you said this already. You ship it
No,
out.
we've been shipping out, but that we're
He's
ending
high,
that
sorry.
because we like it's ridiculous how we got.
You're
them
gonna
back
do a
few
local
times.
now though.
Yeah, local because I can
Yeah.
just drive down the street, drop them to my bro, and
Yeah.
and he spent the money on a grinder, and the grind. I can't believe it.
Has
Like,
to be.
Yeah.
well, it's just
All
this.
comes
This
down to
one
the
is like the fluff and just like it's just it holds the money. Yeah.
A better
So-
cut than a tear, all that.
These other guys, their grind was a little fine. I found. Our joints still burn great. I gave you guys some
Yeah.
joints, but it can be better, and I know it will be better with us moving to my buddy.
Because it's not about price. It's at the end of the day, especially as we talked earlier about like that brand and bringing everything out. It's
Yeah.
like you best foot forward in every step,
Oh,
and if there's an opportunity,
Oh, and you bring it local. You bring it home.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's just like we don't put out inferior products. I just
Like what the
don't.
hell does it cost you to ship everything to get it done? Like,
Yeah, lots.
Your shipping alone would have been crazy.
Yeah. And
Wow.
well, it was hilarious. They sent it back and they didn't even vac seal it. The whole
Oh, that's
mini
right,
mall
you told me that.
just reeked. They showed up and they're like, dude, these have been sitting here all day. The whole mall
Post up.
reeks. They just threw some Bevitas in it. And
Oh,
they didn't
God.
even vac seal it. They boxed it. I had 3 boxes. I forget how many thousands.
Figure it out.
And I was just like,
Oh.
what is this company
Fuck.
doing?
You should have charged him for the
Stinky.
terpenes. Yeah, all this wasted terpenes just in
Oh
there.
man, it must have just stunk in there.
Yeah. Oh, it just
That's
reeked. Yeah.
Man, listening to you guys speak is absolutely, it's enthusiastic, it's exciting, because this, as a home grower, as someone who spends a lot of time on the internet, watching, reading articles, seeing the industry kind of flop and rise and flop, and it's like, it's obvious that it's being controlled by people that don't have this same level of passion and willingness to sacrifice everything for a great plant that heals and brings people together.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's what the legal market was missing in 2018. In 2023, it is starting to evolve, and that's why we start seeing companies like Sweet Grass and Natural Earth rising to the top. Because it takes more than money and boobs to sell good weed. You know, it really does.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Not to say they won't work. I'm just saying it won't do it alone.
Yeah.
But Dana, Tim, hell of a conversation.
Oh,
thank you guys so
I
much.
can't thank you enough. Thank you for hosting
Oh,
us.
anytime,
too,
guys.
I appreciate you taking the time.
The new facility, we got to do this at the new place.
Yes.
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 And like, thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome anytime. It's a pleasure. I was waiting for this.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to rent out space. It'll just be easier.
Yeah.
Dana, Natural Earth. If anyone want to reach you or talk to you about your growing techniques or anything in general, where could they reach
Natural Earth Craft Canna on Instagram.
you? Natural Earth Craft Canna on Instagram.
Yep.
And Tim, what about you?
Sweetgrasscannabis.ca.
Sweetgrasscannabis.ca.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then we have our IG too. We have our marketing guy I'm really
He's
impressed.
not allowed on social media.
I follow you guys on Twitter. I know you're on Twitter
Yeah.
as well. And so get to see
Social
the new
media's
facility.
the
And
devil.
Yeah.
But it's also an incredible asset.
Tool.
how you pay your bills.
If you,
Yeah.
but it's how you build that brand.
You know what? I'm 50 years old and I'm still learning it. Like,
Yeah.
I got our first Instagram account banned.
I'm
Yeah.
still learning, especially with AI these days.
Yeah.
There's a
No
lot
kidding.
to be learned.
No
Especially
kidding.
To harness that power
Oh, yeah.
and use it to your advantage. But we could talk all day, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you for
absolutely.
being here. We appreciate the conversation. Thank you guys for watching. We'll check you out next week.
Have a good one.
Peace.
Sweet guys, thanks.
Wow, right on, man. That was fucking awesome.
Thank you.
That was
Thank you.
awesome.